Today, I'm going to show you how to install a NATO strap on your watch safely. What you're going to need is some sort of a spring bar tool, the strap itself, and of course, a watch to install it onto. In this case, we're going to be looking at my Omega Seamaster 1200 meter Ploprof in summer blue, which has a lug spacing of 24 millimeters, one of the widest ones out there. You also want to make sure that if you're buying the strap, you match the lug spacing on the watch to what the lug spacing of the strap is in order to ensure a proper fit. Now, if you enjoy this type of content, please like the video, and if you subscribe, you'll see new watch-related content every single week. Now let's get to work. First, you want to have the watch handy that you'd like to install the strap with. I'd highly recommend finding a surface that's soft or cushioned in some way to avoid scratching or denting your watch during the installation. The worst thing is to have a brand new strap installed on your pretty watch and to find that you've damaged the heck out of it. So I'm going to turn my watch over, and with my spring bar tool, unless you have quick release spring bars on your watch already, I'm simply going to remove the existing strap. You want to get as close to the case while doing this without touching it, as you run the risk of scratching the backside of your lugs. Put a little pressure inward away from the case, and those spring bars should pop right out. Now we'll do the other one. And we're done. Now, I've got the case of my watch all by itself with no strap attached to it. Next to it, I've got my NATO strap from WIS Straps. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't endorse them. I just needed a really good looking navy NATO strap for this watch, and it was surprisingly hard to find one in 24 millimeter spacing because of how wide it is. Now, in a majority of cases, what you'll be able to do is simply reinstall the spring bars without a strap or bracelet on it. And as long as there's enough distance between your spring bars and the case, your NATO strap will slide right on through. In this case, however, there's very little clearance between the spring bars and my case, so I'm gonna have to do this a little bit more manually. So how you wanna start is by taking this little loose part of the strap with the minder loop on it, and just kind of folding that back over the clasp so it's out of the way. Then take the front part, which is the longer section of the NATO strap, and ultimately where we want to go with it is behind the case of the watch, from front to back. If you have your watch turned over so the dial of the watch is facing down, which I'd recommend, you also want to make sure that the NATO strap itself is facing the same direction so that the minder loops are also facing down towards the dial. From there, you'll be bringing the strap from the front towards the back first, which is towards you. And in this case, I've got to make sure my spring bar is solidly attached. So I'll place it in the spring bar hole closest to me. And then with the strap underneath, I'll use my spring bar tool to apply pressure until I get that top of the spring bar to go in the hole opposite me. I may also need to manually use the spring bar tool to ensure those spring bars are fully extended so they don't come out by accident while you're wearing the watch. That would be bad. From there, I simply bring the strap now under the other spring bar, which is at the bottom of the case, and I'm going to do the same thing here, only now we're going in reverse. So we'll be taking the strap from behind the case, directing it towards the front of the case to get it into the correct position. Same thing here. I'll make sure that bottom spring bar is securely fastened in both holes and manually extend the spring bar with my tool if needed. Then I'll take this loose part of the strap and lay it down over the back of the case. Then I'll thread the bottom of the longer part of the strap through it, again, towards the back of the case, which is upward. And now, when I flip the watch over, I've got my NATO strap properly installed and it looks great. I may need to manually adjust where the case is sitting along the strap to make sure it's centered and gives me that right fit on my wrist. Now that your strap is properly installed, simply put it onto your wrist of choice, choose the right fit for the pin buckle, and do a nice wrist roll to appreciate all of your hard work. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite way to wear a NATO strap and with what watch? I'd be curious to know. And if you enjoyed this video, take a look at another one I did where we change out our Rolex bracelet to put it on a sweet rubber B strap. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.